Hey, good morning. It is episode 6 of Camellia City, and I've taken a break from doing these because of several things that I will explain as I go through more episodes. I'm not really ready to talk about it yet, but good things and bad things, and so I'll be discussing those when I feel a little bit more ready. My name's Denan, and I decided to start podcasting again because I missed it. I used to podcast, every day. I was hired as a podcaster to work for a record company. That's how I started, and it was had 3 different podcasts at one time about metal music, which I learned a lot about back then, and I'll probably tell that story one day too. And then becoming an herbalist was really this amazing thing that happened to me, and I started podcasting about health. I have recently moved home in the last year and a half to Greenville, Alabama, which is the most magical town I've ever been in, ever. And I've been around a little bit. And I just want to celebrate Greenville and talk about its quirkiness. And by the way, if you are familiar with small towns, you know that the newspapers in small towns can't really tell the truth, and that's why there's such a rumor mill in tiny towns, because it's not proper to be talking about other people's stuff out in the open, so people whisper about it. I don't think I'm going to play that. I think we're just going to talk about stuff. My stuff, hey, I get talked about as much as anybody because of my past, and I'll be discussing my past on this show too, because I'm not ashamed of. I've had this great, interesting life, and knock on wood, I get to have more of it. But there are serious things I'm ashamed of in my life. But it's not what a lot of people might think. I'm ashamed of the times that I didn't help people when I could, and the times that I wasn't nice to people when I should have been. And those are the things I regret in my life, not this wild, crazy life I lived. And I'm going to talk about that too, because that's part of my testimony as a human being, and the reason why I'm the person I am. And hopefully I've learned from all of those things to become a better person who helps people. That's what I hope. That's why I'm here in Greenville. I opened a herbal shop here, and I sell natural supplements and fun things and herbal teas, and I just love it so much. I absolutely love it. And that's what I'm going to talk about today, is some aspects of that. And, a lot of crazy things happen when you open a natural shop. A lot of people come and talk to you about stuff you didn't think they were going to talk to you about, like poop. I talk about people's poop all the time. It's important. I talk about ED a lot more than I thought I would, but I've had to catch up on learning about natural supplements for ED, and the reason why is that I didn't anticipate is so many people are on prescription medications in small towns. They've been raised to trust anything their doctor says, and look, I'm not against doctors at all. I think there's a disconnect between what doctors prescribe and natural healing modalities that attack the actual problem and not the symptoms, and I might talk about that one day too. But so we'll probably have some ED stories too. Obviously, I'm not going to say who, because this is a small town, but a lot of people. So I wanted to clarify this whole CBD thing in Alabama, and I've been on the front lines of this since I opened my shop, and here's why. First off, CBD oil is made from hemp that does not contain THC, the psychoactive part of marijuana. A hemp plant and a marijuana plant look just alike, smell just alike. Okay? marijuana has THC and CBD in it, and hemp has CBD in it. You can get hemp seed oil anywhere. This has no CBD in it. It's a cooking oil or a salad oil, and it's been around forever. They can use that legally in all 50 states, and you might see it in lotions at Walmart, and they're charging way extra for it because they put in that little leaf on it, by the way. CBD is extracted from the hemp plant, from the stalk and the leaves of the hemp plant, from commercially grown hemp raised for paper and cloth and all of those things we should be using. But, I don't want to get into the history of it. There's a good reason, money-wise, we haven't been growing hemp in this country. Anyway, so I believe in the healing properties of CBD. It's anti-inflammatory. It's some studies say it's antiviral. It helps with anxiety. It helps with pain. It does not get you high. It cannot get you high. It will not get you high ever. Okay? Now, as far as an herbalist, I'm going to tell you that some of these healing issues could really be helped with a tincture that is marijuana and CBD together, because that's how the plant's supposed to be used. But okay, you don't want to get high, but you do want the healing properties of this plant. CBD is the way to go. Well, a lot of companies jumped on this CBD craze and started putting out all this information. Legal in all 50 states. Legal in all 50 states. It's not true. I just read the white paper from the DEA. And I explain this in my article. Please, if you want to know about Greenville, Alabama, start subscribing to the Greenville Standard. It's incredibly cheap for a year subscription, and it's got good stuff in it. More local. It's got local stuff in it, and my articles on health. But so the DEA and the FDA have decided that because the FDA has approved one drug from one pharmaceutical company, and it's called Epidiolex, it's for two kinds of seizures, epilepsy, two different kinds of epilepsy, and it's going to cost consumers about $34,000 a year to use. Because the pharmaceutical companies want this money. They don't want companies making all this money when they could be making way more money because they can charge more because they work through the insurance system, right? So, they have changed only that drug to be listed as a Schedule 5. The rest, CBD oil, by the federal government is still considered a Schedule 1 drug, the most ridiculous thing in the world because it cannot get you high. But it's listed as one of the world's most dangerous drugs, up there with heroin, okay? So people still come to me and go, CBD is legal. No, it's not. Yes, it is, and they want to argue with me. And so I have to explain this because, look, I understand. And here, I was there. I was there about a little over a year ago. And let me tell you why I was there. I could not believe this stuff was illegal. It cannot get you high. And yet, the federal government and the state of Alabama, and as I'm going to tell you, all the local governments here believe it's illegal and dangerous. Okay. So before I found some of the better companies that I tell people about with CBD oil, and I'm going to tell you about those too, I got approached by a company that sells CBD oil out of Florida, and to tell you the truth, I think they were extracting with just water. Some of these companies are pyramid companies, and they are the way they extract the CBD oil, you don't know what you're getting. You really don't know what you're getting. And I think that's where law enforcement really has a point there. They're thinking you could get something that's like synthetic that could get you high or hurt you. I'm thinking they extracted this stuff with hexane and butane, and that takes away all the healing properties of this stuff. It needs to be extracted with water. It needs to be organic hemp, blah, 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 whatever. Okay. So I had all the information from this company. It said legal in all 50 states. It had some official looking paperwork, that looked like it was legal, and all the list of products and all of that stuff. So I go to the sheriff. At the time, here is Kenny Harden. And just to let y'all know, his wife is my mom's cousin. And I asked him, well, he knew I was coming. So he had a guy named, oh God, what is this guy's name? Russell is his last name. Anyway, he's the drug enforcement guy in our county, Byron Russell. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot his name. He's such a nice person. And then on the phone with him was the district attorney, Charlotte something. I am so sorry I forgot her name. So they're all in the office. I show them all the paperwork, and they're like, "No, you can sell this, but we'll arrest you." I'm like, "Listen, guys, this can't get you high." And what I didn't realize is the intricacies of what's going on with CBD right now. It's very complicated, okay? It is illegal. Whether we think it should be illegal or not, at this moment, it's illegal. And so I don't sell CBD oil in my store because I don't want to get arrested. And it was one of those things where like you could buck the system. You could be like, screw you, I'm going to sell CBD oil in my store. Arrest me and we'll go to court about it. And I might have won a court case, really, because, there's just so much, the law is so, vague, But I didn't want to go through all of that. And couldn't afford to. I wouldn't be able to afford to do that anyway. And is it the fight? It's not really the fight I'm ready to fight. I am waiting for the laws to change. Okay. So, yeah, a retailer cannot sell CBD oil legally. Now, here's where I would kind of get mad is everybody else was selling it. The health food store in Montgomery was selling it. The health food store down in Evergreen was selling it. Stores down in Orange Beach were selling and advertising in magazines that they were selling it. And here I was in Little Butler County. I'd be arrested if I was selling it. And I believe it helps people. And I believe I could have, it could have really helped my store. I would have made money, This stuff isn't cheap. But I decided to do the legal thing and not sell it, and I'm waiting for the laws to change on that. In the meantime, here's what's so interesting. I just found out there is a Greenville person who I went to high school with who is starting a CBD oil company, all organic, fair trade, extracted correctly in Colorado, and it's called Americana. Now, I found out about this company. Products will be available in February. And he not only is he doing CBD oil, but he's also doing hemp seed oil. So he could go into these states like Alabama that are really like, no, we're not going to let this go illegal. And he can put these products in that are just hemp seed oil, which is totally legal. And then when the law changes, which I believe it will, bammo, he's got all these CBD products. So his products say one thing, and then the plus version has the CBD in it. Brilliant. And going to be a really good company. So I'll be able to carry the non-CBD oil stuff, and then in hopes that the law changes in Alabama. For now, and that'll be Americana, AMERI-CANNA.com, I believe, is what it's called. But in the meantime, one of the original companies that I think is really interesting and produced correctly is Charlotte's Web, which is cwhemp.com. And their product seems to be produced safely, just FYI. So, yeah, we've got, people want to say that Alabama's backwards, that we'll be the last to have any sort of legislation for that. I don't think so. I think there's a lot of people who want this stuff. I know there's certainly a lot of people who need it. And you know what? The driving force, the number of people, I know about this because people ask me every single day. Someone comes in my shop every single day asking about CBD oil because they're desperate for relief. And most of the time, these are older people. And because it's older people, I think it will drive the, consumer awareness will be higher among the people who vote, and we'll get this legalized somehow. But yeah, it's a product, it's a plant that is very helpful. And look, old people don't want to get high. They just want their pain to go away. They want their back pain to go away. They want something to help them sleep that doesn't have side effects. They want less inflammation. Bill Kuntz is the guy who has the CBD company in Boulder, Colorado, who's from Greenville, Alabama. He's not originally from Greenville, but he went to school here. And by the way, one of the guys who's working for him in that company was a guy he went to Troy University with. Back then it was called Troy State. But so he's got a couple of Alabama guys working for him up there in Boulder. But he told me his dad is using the CBD tincture as part of his cancer treatment, and the doctor told him, keep using it. Keep using it. It's doing you good. And that says a lot to me about the possibilities of this and how it could heal. So Greenville's a town where a lot of thanks to the internet, a lot of people come to my shop and they have done a little bit of research, maybe not a lot. Sometimes they're so wrong. And I'm so glad they've come to talk to me, because whatever they're thinking they should take would interact with the medication that they're on, and that's hard to find sometimes on Google. But this is an educated public. They're tired of, this town is tired of so many people in this town having cancer. It's freaky. They're tired of the jump in Parkinson's cases. They're tired of feeling horrible. They're tired of, so many people here have arthritis. Now look, yes, I'll admit, a lot of this is lifestyle, right? Eating like shit, drinking sweet tea, doing too much sugar, eating fast food, eating crap, right? There's a lot of that. But some of it is just the toxins in the environment. And I don't know, there's a lot of industrial farming around here. A lot of Monsanto, a lot of Roundup gets sprayed around here and is in the air. And we know that causes cancer, right? So, according to the court case, I'm not making this up. So there's that issue as well. There's a lot of chemicals because of industrial farming in our area. So, that all being said, if you've never been to Greenville, Alabama, and you can do a drive-through here and come to this downtown. I live downtown, and I can look out my window. I am right now looking out my window. The sun's not up yet, and I'm looking at City Hall, bathed in the spotlight, just across the street from me. It is absolutely beautiful. This town is beautiful, and now would be the time to come drive through if you can. We just have... we're covered in camellia bushes that will be blooming soon, and this town will be covered in hot pink and red and light pink camellia bushes that were planted almost 100 years ago. We have amazing architecture. And by the way, the people here are just about the coolest, wackiest, funnest. I cannot wait to start telling you stories about the people here. I'm going to have some doozies too. And I'm going to tell it. I'm going to tell, I may not mention names on some of these because some of these are, you would not believe. But I'm going to be honest about myself because, and here's why. Rumors, I guess, is why. And I feel that people want to ask me questions and out of politeness, don't sometimes. I feel like people would really like to know a little bit about my life, having done the things I've done, but or don't want to offend me maybe or something. And also there's an element here of, I don't know, it's hard to explain. There's like the people who have been the snootiest to me have been the most churchiest people. Does that make sense? And I don't want to call them religious because, well, maybe, I'm not going to, split hairs here, but the people who are most, let's say this, the people who I have seen who wear their church on their sleeve, the most publicly involved with their churches, let's say that, have really been the most standoffish to me. But that's okay. We know how that works, and that's not a big deal. But newsflash, I do go to church, and the church I go to has been, and the reason why I go to it is, it's the simplest thing. Someone invited me. I've been in this town a year and a half, and one person has invited me to their church. And so I went to that church, and I absolutely love the openness and the acceptance and the love and the kindness and just the general, I don't know, politeness of everyone there. And I can tell that those people go to that church because they believe it's not about what they wear at church. It's not about, they're there to get that, to get that love, and not whatever because they're supposed to go to church or because that's where their parents go or whatever. It is St. Thomas Episcopal Church. And so I tell people, I was raised Baptist, so I tell people I'm not Episcopal, but I go to church with them because they're amazing people, and it's a beautiful old church, and I love sitting in there, and I like taking communion. I never did that really at the Baptist church. We did it every once in a while with some crackers and grape juice. So that's why I'm doing this, Camellia City, and get ready because I'm not going to hold back. And I hope you have the most wonderful day. And if you want to say hello to me, whatever social media you found this thing posted on, say hello. All right, and I'll see you next time for episode 7. Take care, and I love you. Mwah.